Hi, I'm Laura and welcome back to the Tarot Genie for this week's mini lesson in the cards of the tarot. Today we are going to discuss the Seven of Cups card. Now just look at that, gaze upon it, and as you take in the images, just feel the energy. Notice what energy pops out at you first. What's interesting, what I'd like to point out, is this interesting silhouetted figure, shadowy figure. So we can't discern if it's a man or a woman. Is this whole idea of a shadow silhouette, which suggests that maybe it's a dreamlike state because we can't identify who the person is. And then just notice how his or her arm is kind of just out there. It's almost as if they're surprised, startled by what they see, because they see 7 golden goblets, golden chalices filled with different items. We've got, well, for one thing, I do want to point out, we've got these billowy clouds. So even that's suggesting the idea of a phantasm of a dreamlike state. Out of these clouds are coming these different items. And we have here, this youthful heads. That head represents beauty, youth. Then we've got this tower, the castle, representing security, housing, home, sanctuary. We've got jewels, wealth, the laurel wreath suggesting celebration, achievement of some kind. The dragon, it's kind of that beast energy. And then the snake, reminiscent or often associated with temptation, just like the Adam and Eve story. So and then we of course have this shrouded figure in the middle of it all that's kind of illuminated and red, almost looks angry. Now that has different associations. Different tarot experts interpret that particular person, we can't tell if it's a person or that particular figure. I'd say it's more accurate to say is in a variety of ways. But what's most significant here, the key concepts, are the idea of decisions, choices, fantasy, because the whole idea is that, this person is kind of starstruck or dazzled. And then there's also the sense of temptation. We've got all these items, and it's, what was that game show where you had different doors and you're trying to make a choice about which door to choose, which door might have the car behind it. It's kind of a similar vibe to this card. Typically it's associated with, and it's the number 7 is often a spiritual number. But it's curious because here this individual is dazzled by a variety of physical items, although this one figure, we can't tell exactly what that is. Some tarot teachers say that might even be the Christ figure. It's hard to determine. But overall, we've got the sense of a variety of choices, that enticement, titillation, temptation, being at a crossroads because this individual is just trying to decide which one should I choose. And also it's associated with a mirage. It's given that the clouds are there. Are these items actually real? That's the question before us. Now this card can be interpreted again as any card in a variety of ways. I once did a relationship reading for a woman, and this card came up. Well, it wasn't a relation, it was a woman. The woman wanted to know about the likelihood of a relationship. She wasn't in it at the time. She was seeking a relationship, and she was doing online dating, etc. And I felt that when this came up, it suggested in a more positive way, not the delusional way, because sometimes this card is associated with delusions, but I felt it was suggesting to her that she had many options. Now, it might not mean that all the options are good. You need to be discerning. Let me take a sip of tea here. Somehow I got a tickle in my throat. It might suggest that not all of the options and choices are desirable, but they are there, and it's a matter of stepping back and really going within and thinking through clearly. Now, if this card were reversed, shows up reversed, it could suggest that the person has decided to move forward with a strong, positive choice, that they're no longer in a delusion. They are able to move forward and they are able to find something meaningful. That's what it could suggest. Now again, there are no black or white meanings for every single card. It's all very nuanced, and that's what's important to realize as you study the tarot. But that is, that could be one possibility. That's the opposite, that you're no longer thinking or fantasizing. You've made a selection and you're moving forward with it, and it's the appropriate selection. Let me just see if there's anything else, but that's what really pops out to me. Oh, and I did mention the laurel wreath, yes, as a celebration. And what's also been suggested is that the 7 cups relate to the 7 sins, 7 temptations, etc. So it all depends on the question you ask. And let me see if anything else is jumping out. Not at the moment. I think that's pretty much it. The card of imagination, the fantasy, and as I said before, the music selection is Earth, Wind, and Fire fantasy song. I think that's a terrific association, a music selection for this card. And I believe that is it for today for the 7 of Cups card. It can be quite meaningful. Next week we will talk about the 8 of Cups. And just realize, until next time, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.